They're awesome.
Welcome in, everybody. How are you doing? Woo! You've made it to day one. Can we get a whoop whoop for yourselves? Wonderful. My name is Savannah Lowe, and this is Money Talks, Creator Cash Secrets. And give it up for this amazing panel. It is fully stacked. So you are in for a wonderful treat. We are going to go through introductions, monetization 101, taking it to the next level, and we will open up for questions at the end. So let's get started, everyone. We have the Amber. Will you introduce yourself, please?
I would love to. Hello, everybody. I'm the Amber, but you can also say Amber. I'm a part-time creator. I do a mix of cozy gaming, but also co-working, so like productivity, content. And we all put a motto on the screen, so I guess I'll read mine out. It's comparison destroys personality, because I have to tell myself all the time that if you compare yourself, you're not going to be yourself at the end of the day. So yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Hello, my name is Trash. I'm from Sydney, Australia, so I've come a long way as well. I'm also a part-time creator, and I work full-time in retail. I'm a Twitch partner ambassador, and my motto isn't as serious, but it's just let's go lesbians. And yeah, welcome on in, everyone.
Hi. Oh, is this on? Yes. Oh, you can hear me. Hi. My name is Ash Said Hi. I am a Twitch ambassador and one of the leaders for the Twitch Women's Guild. I've been streaming on Twitch since March of 2019. My pronouns are she, her. And my motto is there's no secret to success, only strategy, because, you know, I feel like we're always feeling like there's imposter syndrome going out there, but if you're consistent, you can really build some cool things. So I want to share that with y'all today.
Check, is it on? Oh my God, it's on. So hi everyone, my name is Balint. I'm the lesser half of SciAnts streams. You can see in the picture, the other half is my wife, Lita. We have our PhDs in molecular biology, and we're full-time scientists and also full-time content creators and Twitch ambassadors. Been streaming since 2022. And our motto is be curious, not judgmental. Be curious about the world, learn as much as you can, and just ask questions.
Hello, my name is Rosanna, and online I go by RosannaTXT because I'm a chatterbox, so I have a lot of text. I am a full-time creator as of this year, but prior to that I did about 3 years of content creation with a job next to it. I'm also a Twitch ambassador, and I do mostly cozy gaming and co-working streams with a sprinkle of IRL here and there if I have the time and energy for it. And my motto is self-care is sexy, so you better all be practicing it because y'all are hella sexy.
Thank you all so much, and I'm Savannah Lowe. You can call me Sav. I am a full-time creator, vocalist, and mother. I'm a Twitch partner in Twitch Women's Guild, community building mentor, and I am the wholesome singing Soulsborn streamer. My motto is community empowers, uplifts, and inspires one another.
Woo!
An important note, this session is for information purposes only, and it's not for business, financial, or legal advice. Every situation is unique, and the best decisions come from consulting with qualified professionals who understand your specific context. We're here to spark ideas and conversation, not to sign off on your business strategy. Use your judgment, do your homework, and when in doubt, ask an expert.
All right.
Let's jump right into monetization 101. What are some ways to make money? Trash, can you take this off with what are some Twitch tools that we can use to make the moolah?
Oh, well, I'll say Savannah has done her research and have found many gifts of me and my friend Tita Nat via like bit gifts or like sub alerts and stuff like that. That is one of the most ways that I make on Twitch. And then there's also other things as well, such as like PayPal or like through donations, through, what's the other one that's not PayPal? Ko-Fi, yes. Yeah, there's so many ways to make money on Twitch. I have like a few avenues, but my main one will be Twitch, and then from donations, and then through my work outside of Twitch as well. Yeah.
How did you decide your bit alerts and what to put with what money there? A lot of people have that problem. You look and you said, okay, well, I have an idea for an alert, but how did you decide what you're going to put on there and what monetary value that you assigned?
I always put the most embarrassing gifts of me for an alert. So there's me in a Lord Farquaad outfit in my heels, doing a drop squat, or the more embarrassing, the more higher value, I would say, when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, does anyone else have any other funny gift alerts that they do or anything?
Yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead. No, please go. I've been talking enough today. I mean, I think, like, even for me, I think the most important thing is what resonates with my community, especially when it comes to bit alerts. Like, we'll have inside jokes. Like, I have an alert that gets spammed quite often because I'm a big Star Trek fan. So everybody likes this, like, data laugh that I have. So while I'm playing those games, they'll, like, spam it. And those things are cool because it's a way that I connect with my community and, like, things that we talk about all the time. So that's what's key for me, is picking things that I can, send back to my community because they're spending money, so I'm giving them something back.
Aside from sound alerts, bit alerts, Rosanna, are there any other Twitch tools that you use to help people spend their money?
So for me, a really big one is emotes. I made sure that my emotes are very unique and that there are a couple of ones I let my community co-decide which ones they want, which ones they think they'll use a lot and where they should go, so on which tier of the subs. And my emote designer is my sister, who's also involved in my community, so it makes people really love the emotes and therefore they want to subscribe as well to almost be able to use those everywhere. So it's they're supporting the emotes, not me.
I love that. And do we have any special ways to make money from SciAnts and the team over here?
I think for us, we agree on the emote side of things. It's we make them live on the stream, and it's a mix of either inside jokes or science content, right? So we've got a planarian, which is a flatworm that you can chop into two and it regenerates, and there's an emote of it. So it's a great way to teach people, hey, based on the emote, this is what happens. But then we have one of our friends who sings about wearing pants around his pants, and so we have a tardigrade that dances with two pairs of pants. Really has nothing to do with science, but it's like a fun community inside joke.
That's lovely. And it also builds community while you're experiencing these things. What about any external tools? Anything outside of Twitch? Amber, do you want to chime in and let us know if there's anything that you use, any merch or...
I do have merch, but I haven't released new merch in a while, so that may not be very relevant now, but at one point it was. Something else that I do is I play a lot of Minecraft on my YouTube channel. And then also sometimes on stream, and I made a community server, but it was subs only because, well, there's a lot of effort that goes into creating the server and to maintain it and moderate it. But I did see a lot of people also become a YouTube member or become a subscriber for that. And then I also upload some of my creations to my Ko-Fi, and some of it is free. Like, for example, a mod pack for Minecraft, that's actually free, but people can still donate whatever they want, like $1 or $5. And people do actually use that as a form of thank you so much for this. And then it's not much, but you can make a little bit here and there. And if you have the content, if you've made it already, why not make a little bit of money from it on the side?
For anybody who doesn't know what Ko-Fi is, would you mind explaining that?
Ko-Fi is, I think it kind of started as more of a donation platform where people could buy you a coffee. But you can also set your shop up on there, so you can sell digital tools, but also can do things like I will send you a postcard, or you can host your merch on there. So basically, it's a great way to monetize everything you do.
That's awesome. And Rosanna?
Yeah, I did something similar where I started selling Notion templates, which was completely unrelated to anything I was doing on stream. But then I found a weird niche making Notion templates for tracking Sims legacy challenges that it's very specific, but anyone in the Sims community was like, oh, this is actually something we would love to use. And I also have them all on my shop for free, but people do tend to donate, especially for the challenge that I've written myself, because it's just a way of them saying thank you for the work that I've done for that tracker. But it's just a great combination between, I'm not actively asking people to donate, but I'm more so on stream, I'm able to redirect them to a shop that has free stuff for them. And it actually helps me make a good amount of money every month.
I think a quick one as well is I use crowd control. If anyone knows what crowd control is, it's pretty much chat controls your gameplay. And I think I haven't used it in a while, but I remember when I used to play Stardew Valley, chat would go crazy on the serpents. So that was like a way to also make like money from external tools. So if you're ever looking for some fun with your games with chat, definitely check out crowd control because it gets hella chaotic in there.
And it's always great to make money doing something that you're already doing, and that goes for the working with a value for the money. How do you balance value for the money with your incentives, SciAnts?
That is a great question. We struggle with it on the daily. Like, what is worth the price of a sub for a month? And so for us, we've been adding alert after alert after alert. So it's not for bits. It's that one sub. You can trigger 400 different things on the show, right? So it's like for a cup of coffee, you get this much incentive to it. And so it's maybe not the best way because it's not bringing in as much, but it brings in like this idea of community and loyalty and building because it's like we're trying to make stuff for the community to use live. And then you get everything else on the science side of things. You get the images on the Discord and, that's not paywall based. It's like we're trying to make the science as accessible as possible. And then you kind of delve more into a mission statement side of things, what you believe in.
That's excellent. That's so much advice. We literally just got started, and we're already just hopping into so much wonderful material. Thank you so much for being here today. And we have a community-centered job. We have to work with people. We have to incentivize them to support us, and there are many ways to do that. But of course, financially is very, very important. How do you make money through a community-centered approach?
So I think what is very important, or something that I personally notice, is watching out for creating sort of like monetization tiredness in your community. So I guess all of us creators struggle with the fact that it's a hard industry to make money. It's a hard industry to do full-time and make a living out of it. So trying to balance it out by not just relying on people subscribing to your Twitch or just relying on always people donating high amounts of bits, but trying to balance it out with maybe potentially doing a sponsorship or having other means of income like a YouTube channel, where that way your community is not the sole provider of your income. It takes off a lot of stress from your Twitch streams itself, but it also makes your community way less like felt as if they're only there to make you money, but they're really there to just hang out with you and vibe. And if they want to support you, that is greatly appreciated.
That's an excellent point. How do you foster that attitude? How do you make sure that they feel appreciated and want to be a part of that support? Ash?
Oh, me? Oh. I think it's important when I have conversations with my community to let them know that their direct support allows me to continue doing what I'm doing, right? And I think that a good way to do that is to work on maybe incentives or milestones or fun activities together. Like, hey, chat, if we get, 400 subs, I get to make a new emote. I get to commission a new emote. Don't you want to be a part of that fun? Like, wouldn't that be cool? It's kind of like connecting with them and showing how they directly impact. And it's like a give and a take, right? So they're giving this stuff to me, but then I'm providing, this third space for them. And, we have all these, jokes together. And I think, it's important to always have that community-centered approach and just talk to them. What do you like to see? Hey, if we get like 50 subs, maybe I'll play Battletoads. No, that's not enough subs. Don't play Battletoads for 50 subs. But yeah, that's how I think about it.
Can I add to that something? Because I think the other way around, where you don't want to create like monetization tiredness from your community, I think it's also really good to keep your own boundaries in place. I notice that I tend to overcommit because I'm like, I have to give people value for the fact that they decide to subscribe or tier bits or like just even spend their time in my stream. And I've also come to the realization a lot of people keep telling me like, no, but we want to subscribe because we appreciate the content you already make. So you don't always have to come up with new incentives or like big next things to do because they appreciate what you're doing right now and they want to support that already. So I think like find a balance for yourself there where you don't overtire yourself either.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because sometimes just reminding people is enough. And when we're playing games and doing all of the things that we do during our show, we just forget that one simple point. Just reminding people can be enough.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, it works.
Right, and Trash brought up, if whenever you're using crowd control, you're already streaming. You're already going to be making this content. This is another thing that you can add, which is a way for you to make money, a way for your community to interact with your stream, cause all sorts of chaos. If you're not familiar with crowd control, if you're playing Elden Ring, they can make your character invisible. There's all sorts of funny antics that you can have, and viewers love to be involved. That's what makes live streaming so special. What are some ways that whenever you are live, you can use Twitch tools or external tools to make money with your community?
Sav asking the good questions.
Big question.
I think ways that you can do that, like you said, crowd control and all that kind of stuff, but I think letting them decide things, right? Letting them make decisions for you. Hey, maybe we work on a list of games and y'all tell me, like, what is it that y'all want to see? Like, that's how I would think of it.
Or for us, it'll be something like what you're interested in learning about. So, for example, we had a community member wanted to learn about wasp brains. Sent me a pack of hornets. They were preserved. They're not alive. It's okay.
Wow.
And so we did the live dissections on the stream. We looked at the brain. We looked at the organs. We talked all about it and spent 4 hours learning about how that works. And that's independent of a sub. That's independent of a bit. That's just what are you interested in learning about that is also in our wheelhouse of expertise. And that's how we like to think about tailoring what the audience is interested in. Or if we bring on a guest, what do you want to learn about? Someone's like, I really want to learn about spider vision. Okay, I know an expert. Let's bring him on. And so that's a little bit of that interaction for us. Very different from the gaming side of things, but the principle of that community connection is the same regardless of the content.
Yeah.
Rosanna?
Yeah, I think something that I personally, streams that I love to watch are ASMR streams. And I think ASMR streams are very interesting to learn from because a lot of it is viewer based. Most ASMR artists work with, like, I'll do a trigger if you redeem something through a channel point. But there's also a very popular thing in ASMR is doing name traces. So, like, saying your name or, like, tapping on something or, like, requesting a custom trigger. And it's something that I think for me, it was very interesting to look at how other niches compared to your own monetize and learn from that, because they are like, oh, name traces is a popular one. If you subscribe, you get a free name trace. You don't have to spend channel points on it. And it's a great incentive for people to want to subscribe because they get, like, a little special moment. And I think that's why it made me think of when you said, what do people want to know, is figuring out, even by watching other creators do things, how can you take sort of that concept and implement it into whatever you're doing on your stream?
I have a fun one that you also do. We have this thing which is like a subscriber board. So every single month, every person who subscribes or who gifts subs gets put on, like, this visual. And then at the end of the month, or, like, the start of the new month, we make a post on our Discord to thank them, but also to share some other, like, things that happened in the past month. So, like, a little recap of the month. And then in there, like, people can actually see their name on the board and the badge that they have for this month next to it, or, like, the amount of gifted subs they had. And I noticed people really like being on. I mean, I call it the cupboard because my name's Amber, so it's a cup like that. Like, it's kind of branded a little bit. And I feel like people really enjoy these little personalized things with their own name and something that's a bit more unique.
I was gonna add to that as well. Yeah, I remember when I used to do subathons, maybe like a few years ago, I would make shirts of all the subscribers, and then as well as, say, for example, Minecraft, or if I'm playing like a building game, for every sub I get, I'll add them into the game, and I think this is like a very nice way to, like, just have, like, that community as well, and they love being a part of it. So that's, like, another special way that I kind of use sub incentives. Yeah, it's a cute way.
I love that you are building off of this conversation, because I was going to ask you, and you answered already. I was that's so great. I was going to ask you if somebody is getting started with trying to come up with incentives for their community. There is a very wide range of content sitting here on this panel, and yet your community and what they would like. If somebody's getting started, you mentioned watching other creators, seeing what kind of resonates with you. What are some ways, some advice that you would give people on how to dissect their own community and find things that work for them?
Ask them, literally. I've made many channels in Discord, not only for my own monetization, but also for charity events. Just open a little channel and be like, hi guys, what would you like? Would you like a subboard? Or I've seen this in another creator's channel. Would you enjoy that? And that already makes them feel involved. So even if you then implement it, it will make them like pre-excited. It's basically free marketing of your own subscriber incentives.
And SciAnts, did you?
I think one thing is to be honest. What's your goal? What are you wanting to achieve? Like upfront, like guys, I want to be full-time. I want to be part-time. I want to do this for fun. That helps set the tone for what you're going to do, and you're not going to catch anyone off guard. So we're very open and honest. We're like, hey, we wanted to be able to do this full-time. That's the goal, and here's also our mission statement. So not only are you supporting us as creators, but this is the mission that we're driving towards. And that is a tangible thing that the community is along with for the journey. And I think that's an important thing to define.
Do you put your goal on your overlay? Or do you use it verbally?
I have a daily sub goal and bit goal, and when we reach it, I have like a little reward. So I have a spinny wheel with mini games on it. Initially, I did that like through channel points, but over time, as things grew, I made it like a part of the sub and bit goals. And then I have like a monthly goal that I just update, just kind of random, but it's on like below my stream. It's not on my visuals itself.
Anybody else? We don't have to do the same thing, right? So what does everybody else do? What do you do, Amber?
It's boring because it's the same. So you already heard the answer, but it's like the daily goal. But I do try to change it where if I do gaming streams, then I'll spin a wheel because like the things on the wheel take some time. So if I'm in like the co-working, you do 15 minutes of work, 10 minutes of break, it won't necessarily fit into the break. So then I do like these little cards. I have like a little card deck with like words of affirmation or like little cute things on there. So then we pull a random card and we read a card if we reach the sub goal. And then with gaming, we spin the wheel.
What about you, Ash?
Oh, what do I do? I mean, I have a section in my Discord where I ask people what I should play. But most of the time, it's creating anything that they want to see, like emotes or bit alerts. But yeah, crowd control is definitely one really fun way, and I love that kind of stuff. So yeah.
I think that's amazing. And it also, everybody has different things that they do. So listening to one person's perspective might not be something that fit with you, and then somebody else. That's why I love the diversity here on the panel as well. And speaking of, things that might work for somebody and not work for you, we were touched on boundaries earlier. What are some things to watch out for when monetizing your content?
I think it can be dangerous if you have like one or two people that gift a lot to then think that that money will always be there. Like you can't rely on one person's generosity because at the end of the day, nobody owes you anything. Like they can, or something like they can suddenly not enjoy your streams anymore or not be able to spend money. So I think that's something really important to keep in mind. Like these are people donating. So don't base your entire strategy on that, but look more at things like ad revenue, like things that are usually more stable and like income from other socials or sponsorships.
I think the other way around, even if someone is very generous, if that doesn't give them any entitlement in your stream. So even if they gift a lot of subs or gift a lot of bits and they are then a dick, you still get to ban them.
Yeah. I think that's like the biggest one for me is the parasocial aspect of it. Because there have been people who have like, I tier 2 subbed for you, and when do we get to spend personal time together? I'm like, wait, hello? Hold on a minute.
Hold on.
Wait. Yeah, let's
How
take a
about
step
no?
back. Ban.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of that as well. It did not turn out well. It's just like, he donated a lot of money, and then he's like, this is how you should do your stream now. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
And ban. Yeah, it happens, unfortunately, but always set your boundaries, and yeah.
What are some things you watch out for as well?
That's the same thing too of like if someone's being very generous, that's wonderful, and you of course thank them, but you don't give them creative control of your content. Normally, if you set this tone for your stream, people won't expect that. Yeah. But when you're starting out small, it's hard, right? Because if someone comes in and donates 1,000, you kind of be like, oh, I really want to make you happy. You have to have it be your boundary. It's your show. People are there for you, not for someone else controlling the show.
Yeah. I would also monitor big like donations or subscriptions because of chargebacks and things like that. So just be aware of that. Just monitor it.
That has happened, I think, to everyone, where somebody would come in and drop like 50 subs or drop a $100 donation, and then the next day you wake up and it's not there, and then you have to pay it back. It's happened before. Just being very conscientious of the fact that your income from streaming shouldn't rely on one person, two person. It shouldn't rely on that. Don't quit your job tomorrow if you have somebody coming in and donating to you, because it's about sustainability. It's about keeping it up. And there are several avenues that you can go down. It doesn't matter the size of your stream either. You can be I don't like the term small streamer, but you can, I believe everybody is big, right? But you can be a smaller streamer and make a living off of Twitch. So how do we adjust that? How do we adjust that based on a stream size, category, energy levels?
So for me personally, the biggest thing was not making Twitch my sole income, because I have had great months on Twitch and I've had months that were not as great. And that's also fine. But the fact that I knew that there was other revenues like a web shop or sponsorships or YouTube or collaborations or stuff like that coming in really helped me not stress about it too much. Especially touching on the boundary part. I feel like we've talked about like monetary boundaries and stuff, but I also have a very hard boundary. I don't do subathons. I did it once and it stresses me out so much. I see the timer and then I'm like, what if it doesn't go up? And then I get physically sick from the stress. So I'm like, this is not for me. I just don't do them. And that is also fine. Like, that doesn't have to be the only strategy to make a lot of money. So I'll still do incentives and stuff to, obviously see if I can make money, because it does help. Twitch is part of my income, but not relying on that solely and knowing how I prefer to make money in a way that makes me comfortable helped me a lot.
And what is a subathon for anybody who doesn't know?
Oh, it's basically you have a timer that starts with a set amount, can be a couple of hours or 0, and everyone who donates or subscribes or cheers bits will get that timer going up. Some people do uncapped ones where they basically just go forever. Some people say I cap it at 24 hours and then you end whenever that cap is hit.
Thank you. And Ash, did you want to add to that?
I think good ways to think about adjusting your strategy based on your, viewership size or, your community size. Something to think about is like not burning them out, with your asks. Like, hey, if we do like 3 subs a day, that adds up at the end of the month. You figure out what's a good, not limit, but what you could actually achieve with your
Attainable goals.
Yeah. So I think just seeing like taking a look at your analytics, figuring out like your chat activity, and then going based on that, like based on this stream, I have a certain amount of chat messages. I could probably get away with asking for like 5 subs or like, this amount of bits or whatever. So that's how I would think about it.
What about you, Trash? How would you adjust based on your stream size? Or maybe you're streaming in a different category than you normally stream because you stream a lot of different
Yeah, I do a whole bunch. I think for me, it's so different because I have a full-time job outside of Twitch. So that keeps me, so I never think about monetization on Twitch at all. So it's like a very different strategy for me because I never think about ways to make money fully because like I was just like if you give subs, I'm so happy, like it's very generous. I never think about like I have to do this or like I have to do that because I have that full-time job that keeps me like leveled. So then yeah, it's so different because everyone's like a different content creator here. But yeah, it's just like I never think about monetization in that sense. Yeah.
You don't have to adjust it.
Yeah.
But also saying, going back to what Rose said was you shouldn't just have to think about, I need to make this many bits, I need to make this many subs, because that does take away from not only your community's experience, but your own.
Yeah.
Right. And so talking about having a full-time job, it's not that different from what Ro was saying about, diversifying those streams so that you're able to just enjoy yourself on stream and having those incentives be for enjoyment.
Yeah.
And to really bolster that.
I like Rosanna, I don't do subathons anymore. I've done it like once or twice. I'm like, never again, because I never want to stress.
I've never
Yeah.
done a subathon.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm with you. I would never do one. I just feel like it's a great idea on paper, and people are good at doing them. And there have been some really awesome ones, right? Like we just saw Kai Cenat make 1 million subs, right? But I think, you know, if we're talking about energy level and stream size and stuff, it's not the right strategy for everyone. Yeah, but for some people, it could be like, all right, we're gonna do this, and you know, like the inverted one, you get the timer to go down as fast as possible. Like those could be cool, but it depends. It depends on what the vibes of your community are.
And I have a question for SciAnts as well. For speaking of vibes of your community, you're a family man. You have a lot of obligations. You don't always have the same energy, just like everybody else, whenever you come to stream. Is there anything that you do to adjust or tailor your strategy for that?
You have to be on full blast every day. There is no adjustment. We're screaming all the way, otherwise it's not worth it, and the community notices, right? And it's like, Balint, you worked the 9 to 5 today, and the 2 kids were crying all day. You look a little tired. Can't be doing it, right? So when you're there for the community. And if you are not feeling 100%, they're like, guys, I'm so sorry. This is the one night of the week I got to take off, right? That's also why we don't do subathons. Like for us, and it's not, again, it's a great idea for some folks. We stream every day of the week, right? What benefit can I give you if I keep going another 24 hours? Like there's no incentive for you. You're going to come right back the next day, and it's just not unique. But if you're streaming 3 days a week, then you'd be like, oh, you know what? I'll do 72 hour. And it's like, yeah, then, you know, tailoring to your strategies. And for us, like with the sub goal, I have it at the bottom. This is what we need to make every week if we can make this full time where the numbers work out. And it's never mentioned. It's just there. Y'all know what it stands for. If we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. You know, we'll eventually get there.
I love that. Great answers. Everybody is so different. And the fact that you're tailoring it by saying, I'm not going to make it today. You know, having that boundary and goes back to the value for the money, right? You know, you're giving a valuable experience because you know that if I just push through just to try to show up, that's not a valuable experience for anyone. So moving forward, we would love to talk about the different income streams. We touched on it just lightly. Amber, you're talking about your YouTube experience. Would you like to share with us about diversifying your income through other platforms?
Yeah, I feel like maybe not for everybody, but for most people, like it's going to be the only way because you don't want to rely on one platform because what if that platform suddenly closes down? Like you never know what the worst cases can be. So I really try to focus on both YouTube and Twitch. And you do oftentimes see like really core community members that can afford to would oftentimes like do a paid subscription on both of your channels. Something I've been enjoying doing is doing really long videos on YouTube. Like I play Minecraft and I do like, they call it long plays. Some people do like 12 hours, but mine are usually like 3 to 4 hours. And it's just literally you playing and commentating. It's like a stream in a way, but then not with a chat. And those are also really good ways to make money because long videos, like the average watch time would then be like an hour. And then if like, let's say 10,000 people watch the video for an hour, then that brings in a lot of income. And then that takes away the stress of like, oh, I'm streaming and if I don't get X amount of subs and then I stream that many hours and then, you know, like you don't want to think about it too much because at the end of the day, I'm not streaming or making content for the money. And I feel like if you have that mindset, your community will know. And then it feels very inauthentic. So I try to find ways to make money that takes the pressure off the people watching it. So like when I do co-working streams, those are long, those are like 6-7 hours. People oftentimes subscribe because they don't want to be interrupted by the ads. But that's not because I'm telling them like, oh, you have to subscribe to see this. No, they just want to for support. And then you show that you're grateful. And then it also makes their experience better.
Excellent answer. And Rosanna, did you want to touch on different income streams for us?
So when I look at my income streams, I am also generally very open when I talk about my money. Every year I make a video on my YouTube channel breaking down how much I've made and where that came from. And every single year, sponsorships in my web shop are number 1 and 2. Sometimes YouTube and Twitch like kind of vary between spot 3 and 4. But I feel like for me, it is sponsorships are a really big one because I also get to pick who I want to work with and like who I even want to be sponsored by. So it's not like I take them for the money, but it helps sort of being able to take that pressure off of having to stream or having to make YouTube videos, but being able to work with brands that I already really love and I already like endorse for free. So then it's like, they might as well pay me. Yeah, it is the case. And I think for me, the web shop is just something that turned out to be, like, I didn't expect it, but it turned out to be a really great passive income stream. I think YouTube is quite time intensive, but over time, you do build up passive income. I always find it hard to call YouTube purely passive income because it's not passive at all. You have to work to make those videos. But once they're there, they'll continuously generate income. And I've been doing it for 4 years now. So I have like more than 500 videos that still generate views over time, which in the end will just make me money that I don't have to do work for now. So even if I fall ill or if I take a break, I don't immediately lose all my income because it's tied to my Twitch streams.
That's wonderful. And Ash, how do you diversify your income through your other platforms or going beyond your Twitch streams?
Yeah, I love doing things in person. Like, I actually do a lot of work at conventions and shows because of, like, you know, I've done hosting for panels and all of that kind of stuff, and I've like cut up all my videos and, you know, create media kits and pitch decks and stuff. So that work has actually led me to do work in like all over the country. So that's a really great way that I utilize my streaming skills to you know, supplement what I'm doing live. So it's a mix of that and building my media kit, building my website has allowed me to pitch myself to brands. And that has also been a way, like you were talking about sponsorships, Ro, about before. And I have had some really fun, awesome sponsorships this year too. So yeah, media kit, website, pitching, emailing people and not being afraid of no, you know, and being, you know, like if somebody says no, being respectful, but, you know, trying again when the time is right. Like that's, the consistency is important.
Can I add something to that? I think a lot of people, when they hear sponsorships, immediately go, nah, I'm not big enough for that yet. I still have, like, no. Literally, there are so many brands who want to work with streamers of different sizes because different sizes of communities bring different values to brands. Smaller, again, I also hate saying that, but smaller communities usually are way more connected to their streamers. So the conversion rate for a sponsorship could be way higher than them working with a huge streamer.
Yeah.
So don't undersell yourself in that sense.
You know, it's so true. I have a degree in advertising and graphic design. And when we did like, you know, advertising strategy and like history of advertising, they taught us about like the click-through rates of like banner ads and stuff. It's like 0.00001%, right? So as a broadcaster who has a direct relationship with their viewership, even 10 clicks is like massive, right? And if you're collecting that data through maybe creating bit.ly links and, you know, compiling that and sharing that, like that's worth something. So don't count yourself out.
And also, don't forget about the intersections between interests and the streamers. I mean, SciAnts, if you did a sponsorship with a science-based company, they have a direct funnel to their custom curated audience, which people really love that.
It's a great way to pitch yourself and your expertise too. So if you have a background in like advertising, right, and then you're pitching yourself to an advertising company and you have that expertise to it, they're going to take you more seriously. So for us, we had someone come into the stream once, they're like, we would love to have you consult for us. And we had a mod delete the comment right away because it sounded really sus. But it turned out it was a science toy company that made STEM toys. Oh. And we consulted and wrote all the scientific facts that went on the toy for kids. And they only found us because of our expertise and on Twitch. Right, so you can market yourself and you can wait for the right thing. You don't have to take the HelloFresh deal if you don't like HelloFresh, right? Like, go for what makes you.
I've done that one. Sorry.
That was funny.
No, I absolutely love that because it does show so many of us, we forget how transferable our skills are as well. If as a streamer, is the only thing that you do turn on the camera and go live? No.
Oh,
So
I wish.
those skills transfer over into these other opportunities, into these different income streams as well. So remember that everything that you're learning on the fly, on the job, in person, online, are skills that you can use to diversify your income through other platforms, through other means, in person, whatever it might be. You have job experience. You have a resume building qualities and expertise right at your fingertips. Speaking of job experience and resumes, side hustle versus full time. What are the pros and cons of either situation? When is it your time to switch?
It is such a good question. Go ahead.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
So for me, I recently went full time earlier this year. And something that I've noticed, which is both a pro and a con, is the fact that I get to do what I love every single day, which is absolutely amazing. It's a dream come true. But at the same time, my livelihood depends on what I love. And some days, I just don't want to. Like, just with like any hobby or anything you enjoy, doing it every single day for almost every waking minute, you start to think about your work. It becomes your whole being. And that has been something that I've really struggled with in the past year of like, how do I keep my private life, not monetizing every single hobby that I do, trying to balance that out. So it's like, it's a really good thing, but also it's a challenge that for me was at least somewhat unexpected. I didn't realize that it would, in a way, not take away joy, but it changed the joy that I had for my work.
It's a different pressure. They say, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I don't believe that at all, because now what you love is also what you're depending on. What about you, Trash?
Oh, yeah, again, as I said, like I work full time. So streaming for me is more like, I guess, a side hustle, but also a job in a way. But I do struggle in terms of creating content, like pretty much every day. I try to stream 3-4 days a week, but even on Twitch and on TikTok, and then on top of that, and editing and doing all that in my nighttime. So that's like my 5 to 9, and then my 9 to 5 is working in retail. So it's just like there is pros and cons where it's like I have that consistency of income that keeps me afloat, and then but also it's like my energy levels is where it comes in, because I'm like, by the time I get home from work, I'm so tired. I don't want to stream, and I feel like I have to stream. And if I don't stream, I'm like I'm missing out, and I'm letting the community down. I'm like struggling everywhere. So I guess like that's the pros and cons from my personal experience. But at the same time, it's like also I get to come here, I get to travel the world, I get to create content, and then connect with my community when I do have the energy. But then also like my community understands how much I do outside of Twitch. So it makes me more relieved, where it's like, oh, they understand and they prioritize my health. And they're like, if you don't need to stream, like don't stream, and that's okay. And then I'm like, but then at the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I feel like I need to stream still. But yeah, I mean, that's just me. I have like a big pros and cons, I guess, when Twitch is my kind of side hustle. Yeah.
I feel like one of the big cons for me, because I don't do streaming full-time or content full-time, is I struggle with like schedule and motivation because I have ADHD, and then having to switch between like, okay, now I'm corporate and now I'm playing Minecraft or whatever. Like that switch is really hard. Like sometimes I wish I could just focus on content, and because when you're a content creator, you kind of think about it 24/7 in a way. So it's hard to then be like, no, but I cannot do that now. I need to be locked in at my other job. But then on the other hand, the pro would be like, if suddenly income goes down, I still have something else to rely on. So I feel like it's always kind of double with, you don't want to turn your hobby into something that like becomes stressful, but also it would be really cool if I could turn my hobby into the only like thing I have to do work-wise. So I feel like it both, like, it will never be 100% perfect. There will always be downsides to either or, so.
SciAnts, would you like to add?
Yeah, for us, it's this almost this weird moral obligation that both Lita and I feel, that when we were trained as scientists, it's our obligation to help convey the information in scientific papers, make science accessible and make it accessible to everyone, right? And so it's this, I almost have an axe to grind, right? Because I had a mentor, she's a big scientist, and she's like, public can't understand this kind of stuff. I'm like, you take that back. And so it's this like personal mission at this point to be like, I was in the place of privilege to be in graduate school, to get this degree, to publish scientific papers. Everyone should have access to this. And that's what like really keeps me going. And it's a pro on multiple levels for that reason, because it's what I love doing, but then it also feels in my heart that this is what I should be doing, right? So it's again, back to that mission statement of making that difference.
Exactly. And the content being a 24/7 kind of job. It's like you do trade I traded my 9 to 5 to a 24/7, and it is a constant stream of thoughts, stream of energy, stream of whatever time that you can give to it. And it's been so amazing hearing everybody's different takes on how they establish your income, your different streams, your boundaries. And we heard from the pros and cons of being full-time. If you do go full-time, how do you know that you're ready to go full-time?
I'm a very risk avoidant person, so I think people around me kept telling me, "I think you're ready," and I'm like, "No, it's not the time yet." For me, it was a lot of calculation, but also getting help from other people who actually know what they're talking about. So I got a bookkeeper to just sit on a call with me, and we talked it through. I was like, "Hey, if I would make this amount of money, and you know all how the tax stuff works, tell me. Walk me through it so that I can calculate based on how much money comes in, whether that is something I can live off or not." So in a way, I think it takes quite a lot of financial maturity to know whether you're ready to go full time. Obviously, that's very much the money side. An important thing is also, do you want to? Would you enjoy it? But considering we're talking about money, that's the part I focused on.
What about you, Ash? What would you say would be your indicator that somebody is ready to go full-time?
I think you have to have the self-discipline to understand that you become an entrepreneur. Yeah. And I think, like Rose said, being responsible, like not being like, "Oh my God, I got this big check. It's going to be like this all the time," and you have to be a planner. Like, you absolutely have to plan, because one month, like you said, could be really great, and then the next month it could be not. Or like, I got 10 sponsorships this month, but then like 3 months down the line, you're like, I have nothing because it's the middle of January and no advertisers have money to spend. So understanding that cadence as well. And I think one thing that, a lot of people misinterpret is like, oh, if I go from affiliate to partner, that means that I'm going to be making exponentially more money, and from partner to ambassador, oh, we're getting paid to be ambassadors.
I wish.
I'm telling you, I've heard people say that, and I'm like, please show me where that check went, because I ain't get it yet. But I think, and the reason why that's important is not to say do not strive for those things. You should and always strive for those things if that's what you want, but it's all about what you do with it. Right? So I am constantly looking for opportunities. I'm constantly emailing people. I'm constantly like, if someone gives me a job, yes, I'll take that job. And by the way, here's 3 extra things that you didn't expect with it. But knowing that I have to plan and be like, always going for something more, that's when I know, okay, I'm ready for this, because I'm going to take it upon myself to try and do more all the time.
Because it is a business.
It is a business,
and
yes.
you are an entrepreneur. You are the associate producer. You are the lighting person. You are the sound guy. You are the on-screen talent. You are the script writer. Yeah. You have an entire list of things, hats that you have to wear in real time, and you have to manage your own money.
Yeah, and I think once I learned, like, oh, I've done my taxes 5 times like this, now I know most of the things. That means I must be ready to do this because I've done it enough.
So what is your advice about the biggest thing, like on how to manage your money as a creator or business?
Write everything down. Get an Excel sheet, get like whatever, QuickBooks, whatever, just write it all down. And if you are not the expert, find someone that can help you, like you said. Right?
Ask an expert.
Hey, we covered that.
What about you, Trash? How do you manage your money as a creator?
Oh, for me, I use a spreadsheet. I love my spreadsheets. I try to just break down all the avenues that I have. So I have a sponsorships, Twitch, TikTok, crowd control, and then like other third-party stuff. And then I have like a little wheel of like how much it all makes. And then I think keep an eye on that I try to look at it every week, just to kind of see where I'm at. And then at the end of the month, I go through it again as a monthly thing, just to kind of manage for the next month, see how much I made, see where we can go. And also, I think my spreadsheets, without it, I will be very, very lost. Because, otherwise I'm like, my brain's going a mile a minute. Yeah.
What about you, Rosanna?
Save when you can. Like we've talked about it many times, I think it's one of the most fluctuating incomes you'll ever see. Especially if I compare it to, I have other friends, they're entrepreneurs, they're like consultants or anything, and they just sign a contract for 6 months and then that company will pay them for 6 months for a set amount. Whereas for me, every month's going to be a surprise, whether it will be a high or a low or a medium month. So whenever I have any additional income, I just make sure to set it aside on a savings account. I make sure that I first save up for my taxes and then I start saving extra. I start saving for things like events and stuff like this, being able to travel here all across the world, making sure that those things are accounted for when the money is available, so that when there is a month where I can just cover my expenses, that is also fine.
Thank you so much. That's such good information, because we often think about the creator economy as this big booming way to just get rich, and it's really important to know that there are hills, there are values, and also you're not defined by the amount of money that you make as a creator, right? We have all different scopes of size of community, but again, just like the numbers on your metrics, that doesn't define the value that you bring to the platform. Speaking of the value that you bring, if you have questions for these amazing panelists, we have a microphone set up right there in the middle of the aisle. Am I imagining things?
I think this room, you might have to walk around.
Was that somebody's? Oh, those are your ears. I'm so sorry. I'm going to walk around with the microphone. And just a quick reminder, let's please keep the topic and also limit it to one question per person. Where are you? I saw you. I have little legs.
Hello, I have a question about taxes. So I go to a tax meeting at TwitchCon every year if I can, and I always have problems figuring out my taxes from Twitch. And CPAs have zero idea what I'm talking about. It's so frustrating. This year, I actually owe money to the IRS. I owe like thousands of dollars. It kind of screwed me over. My tax guy was like, oh, this is normal. I'm like, this can't be normal. Like, what am I doing wrong? And no one knows how to help me.
Yeah, so first of all, not a tax expert, disclaimer. But what I would suggest, if you make most of your funds from Twitch, start doing your taxes quarterly. That will help you allocate money, and then there's not such a big disparity at what you owe, come April or whenever tax season is. I don't know if you're from here, but yeah, that's what I would definitely suggest start doing them quarterly, and keeping every receipt, writing everything down, because like writing things off and expensing things, like that can change your tax bracket and can also impact other things, like if you want to buy a home or get loans or whatever. So yeah, got to pay attention to all of that.
Obviously, I don't know much, very big disclaimer, about the American tax system because I'm not from the States. But something that I've definitely noticed is if you do get professional help, if they don't know the answer, you're paying them to know the answer. Let them go call whichever tax agency is relevant wherever you live. Have them find out the answers because that's what you're paying them for. That can sometimes be rough because you have to really stand your ground, but you are allowed to ask that question again and again until you have the information you need.
And there are creative specific tax experts. people who only work with creators and music businesses and things like that. And those are great to seek out. So they do know what they're talking about because it's really complicated. And I had a question.
So my question revolves around the idea of what I've always called the gift sub bubble. In special streams, birthday stream, I get a lot of gift subs. But I know 30 to 40 of those are a bubble that are going to burst and disappear in a month. Is there any strategy y'all implement to turn any gift subs into a recurring sub?
That's a good question. I think the problem too is sometimes when people gift subs, it's like it could be to accounts that don't watch your channel consistently. So it's like, how do you even solve for that? You know, I got that same question too. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
We need to find Mike Minton and ask him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, but I think reminders too could also probably help.
I think one of the good things is you now have like the Partner Plus point system where they don't count gift subs and they don't count Prime subs in that. And I talk about I would like to reach the 300 because then you get a 70-30 split, and then being open about gift subs don't count. And some people have turned their gifted sub into a real sub, or they're like they would just Prime to somebody else and then spend that money on me. So if you, I'm a very big fan of being really open with my community. So, I mean, if you get a ton of gift subs for an event, obviously they will drop off, like it sucks, but there's not that much you can do. But just talking about stuff like that can help maybe a little bit.
And the partner, sorry to add it to this, but that is actually open to affiliates as well. So it's a misnomer. Just remember that it's called that, but it's open to everybody. You had a question.
Hi, my question is mostly for US-based streamers. Do you have a specific business structure that you use, like LLC? I understand, not actual advice. I'm just curious. LLC, sole prop, Inc. What do you do?
For us, it will be going after the LLC level, but we're going to be going after it once you eventually calculated how much everything's going to cost, and then is it worth investing in, right? So like, what's the threshold that you're hitting at? Is it going to be worth going into the LLC? But that's at the end of the day what's going to protect you, and that's what we're striving for too. But it's very much a threshold argument, at least for us. And again, not an expert.
I shouldn't have gone away.
So if you could go back to your first time making money, like serious money, like relatively speaking, as a streamer, what is one lesson you'd like to tell your younger self?
Oh, I like that question. What would you tell your younger self if you could go back to like when you made your first big amount of money? Yeah, like any kind of lessons you might have learned.
Oh, maybe the thing, it was mentioned earlier, but like people gifting doesn't mean they owe, like that you owe them like anything. I mean, obviously be grateful, be thankful. People are spending money on you that they really, like they don't have to do that either. But just to set boundaries really early, and that doesn't even go just for money, but for anything in the streaming world, like it's your stream, it's what you're doing. You cannot let other people dictate that, no matter how much money they're spending to be there. But we've said that before, so maybe somebody else has anything else to say.
It's good. Good point.
That was good.
I think something that I've done over the years is every single time I've made money, I tried to invest it back into my stream. That was possible because I did have a job on the side. But I would probably tell my younger self that that was the right strategy to go, because it elevated the quality of my stream and allowed to continuously grow and, you know, do new things, which then led to more people finding the stream and being able to enjoy the stream in a better quality, or just doing different types of games and stuff like that. And that, I guess, led me to where I am now.
That's a great answer.
Presumably you started differently too, like it was for fun first, right? Not like kicking off right as a business right away, so you can keep reinvesting back into stream, making it better, and then when you're ready to make that jump, you've built up like a little media empire for yourself, right?
And people donating for a new camera is also helping their experience as well. So when you have that community goal for something that improves the stream, it works out for everyone. This is going to be our last question. The gold one, yes.
Okay, a little for last. Yeah, I was just wondering, you guys talked a lot about sponsorships. I was wondering, How do you guys seek those out? Do you create like an EPK like little kit being like, here are my metrics, here's my whatever? Like, I've sent out a lot of cold emails a lot of times. People, you get nothing back. It's just garbage. But I'm just wondering what your strats are on like trying to get someone on the other end to actually talk to you.
At TwitchCon, a lot of like there's partnership managers at a lot of booths, so I would say that could be a nice way to get your name and face out there. Because indeed, with an email is easy to ignore, but if you present yourself, like introduce yourself in real life, I feel like that has had some success, and I've seen my friends benefit from that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think TwitchCon and conventions in general, for example, PAX, DreamHack as well, there's always gonna be partnership managers around. Like, for example, last year, TwitchCon, the Elgato booth, I was able to talk to the guys there, which landed me the Elgato partnership the year after. So I think just a lot of networking, a lot of just like scouting out who's around, just like kind of chat to whoever's at the booth, that helps a lot. And always have like a QR code ready, or like your media kit ready of like your details to share as well. That really helped me a lot in the past couple of years.
I will also say, tell them what their return on investment in you is going to give them. So when you send them a message, be like, all right, for this amount of money, I'll do this Instagram post, send you the metrics, or this TikTok or whatever for, whatever amount of time. Send them a structure. So that way it's not just, hi, my name is this, I like your product, I want to work with you. It's, here's what you will get. That's actionable.
That's excellent advice. The more you structure it for them and say, I have a deal for you. I am Queen Bobsled, and I love bobsledding. All my community is all about bobsleds. If you send me a bobsled, I will show you. You have to say, for 1 hour, I will promote your product, and it's for this rate. The more you package it for the company, you're taking that work off of their plate. If you just come up to say, hi, I'd like to work with you. And there are a lot of programs this weekend on sponsorships as well.
Yep.
So I would say search that in the bar on your TwitchCon app. And that brings us to the end of our session. I appreciate you all so much. Can we get a round of applause for our amazing panelists?
Savannah, you're like the coolest host. You did such a great job.
You are.
That was really, really, really fun. Thank you for letting me participate. If we could go real fast and introduce yourself one last time before we say goodbye, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm the Amber. Hello and goodbye.
I'm Rosanna TXT, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. My name is Ash Said Hi. We'll also see you tomorrow.
My name is Trash, and I will see you tomorrow as well.
My name is SciAnts Streams, and I'll double see y'all tomorrow. Some DNA extraction tomorrow.
Have a great one. Stay safe.
The best Twitch ambassador.
Right there. She's right there. Right there.